I agree with you, Kelly. I'm impressed that my mum can even turn on a computer, and I think that's the way mums should be.
What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation, and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason.
Well, it's got to be Michael Jackson's funeral, hasn't it?
What, sorry? Is he dead? Did you watch it?
Oh, I caught the last half hour. Thought it was quite nice. I mean, everyone's been slagging it off, saying it was a bit, you know, a bit cheesy and that, but if you could have Stevie Wonder singing at your funeral, you'd have him, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd rather it was your 40th, but, you know, you'd have him, wouldn't you? The weirdest thing was all the fans. There was, like, millions of fans dressed up like Michael Jackson. Now, can you imagine being at your nana's funeral, right? You're just coming out and everyone's dressed like her. You're like...
The thing that I love is how people forget about the bad stuff with the kids.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, that. He was nice, though. He did really good music. It's like, when anyone dies, that's always what happens. Like, this man murdered 20 prostitutes. Ah, but he was good at macrame. So,
I'll be honest with you, I think when glitter goes, people will remember the bad stuff. Kelly, did you watch it?
I thought the whole thing was a bit much, to be honest. I mean, all of his brothers wearing the glove.
Do you notice the detail of that? Because they clearly bought 5...
I know, someone told me this, I thought it was so funny. Instead of buying each one of them a right or a left-handed glove, they bought, like, 6 pairs and split them between 12, so some of them had them on the left hand and some of them had them on the right.
The weirdest thing I read is that they're going to put him in a concrete tomb so crazed fans can't dig him up. Who is doing that, seriously? Who is that much of a fan? Like, hey, love, I know we missed out on tickets for the memorial service. Come in the lounge.
No, but won't his face not decompose because it's plastic?
I don't think it will. I think it'll stay pretty much as is.
Yeah, he's like a bag of nappies. 500, 600 years. But I mean, the weird thing about it is it's not really the funeral, is it? It's like a sort of pre-funeral. It's like he's engaged to be dead. In a way, he said, well, we're dead, we're preparing for his deadness, but his deadness hasn't happened yet. We haven't got the full deadness. Because his funeral's going to go on for ages. People are going to be making jokes about his funeral for about 2 or 3 months. It's like the death that just keeps on giving.
Reg, did you watch it?
I came in about halfway through, and first half hour, I thought it was about like some kind of music competition. And,
were you voting at home?
Yeah,
Going,
wow, it's a concert, man. I started watching it, and then they flashed on the coffin, and I was like, oh, Michael Jackson dead.
But did you expect Simon Cowell to press a button and go,
Yeah, well, I love that Shaheen. He was on it, wasn't he?
He was going to play with Michael Jackson at the O2.
Which everything you say turns into some innuendo.
As you watch it, you could play the Michael Jackson double entendre drinking game. Every time somebody went, he touched so many people. Way!
I'm just saying, for Shaheen, I think playing with Michael Jackson for 50 dates, that would have stretched him. Have you ever met him?
Twice.
You met him twice?
First time I met him was at an MTV after party, and then the second time it was at Madison Square Gardens, and he was wheeling around Elizabeth Taylor with his pants unbuttoned and no shoes on. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
But you know what? Now that Mike's dead, a lot of stories like this gonna pop out. You know, just weird stuff that people nobody listen to, but it's just okay to say now because he's gone. You're gonna hear stories like, I was eating a hot dog one time, and he jumped out the TV. And it was the damnedest thing. It was Michael Jackson. And I'm like, Mike, what you doing here? And he's like, hee, and he back.
But there's also a thing about his saying he'd be singing in heaven with the angels. And I was thinking, if he gets into heaven, we're all going. Oh, me. Oh, me. And I bet you if he is going, the angels will be running around telling the cherubs to put some clothes on. I want you wearing dungarees and duffel coats, minimum.
Let's have a look and see whether Michael Jackson's one of the most talked about things this week. Of course it is. Yes. Yes, Michael Jackson's funeral took place this week. 12-year-old Britain's Got Talent finalist Shaheen Jaffagoli performed at Jackson's funeral. He raised the roof of the Staples Centre and the lid of the coffin. Go on, what else have people been talking about this week?
MI6.
Was it MI5? I don't know this.
MI6. MI6 is foreign intelligence. MI5 is home. MI4 is like parks and waterways. And MI3 is clamping.
Which one does furniture?
MFI. The head of MI6 has been put on one of those Facebook.
His wife has put him on Facebook.
And generally people think that's not great, that people know what the head of MI6 looks like in his trunks. It's a very funny picture because he's playing football on a beach like this. He's going... You can't see my legs, but it's very funny. I bet he was thinking, I wish my wife had put that other photo on where I'm going like this.
Someone said, some expert as well, said that the Taliban get 80% of their information from social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. Really? Really?
Yeah.
140 characters.
Quickly.
Osama, Stephen Fry is having another bagel for breakfast. Yeah, but also, where's the harm? I mean, it's only holiday pictures. You know, what's she going to do? Like, oh, yeah, as you're flicking through, that's the one of us in the Seychelles. That was one we went down to Devon. That's the one of the inside of a nuclear submarine. Oopsie daisy.
Well, no, it's mostly for him, because obviously he's embarrassed, but now he has to kill her. She'll just be hanging out of the wash and go, ooh.
What the hell is a woman of her age doing on Facebook when she's married anyway?
I agree with you, Kelly. I'm impressed that my mum can even turn on a computer, and I think that's the way mums should be.
Last night, my mum said to me, get this working for me. And she handed me her computer, and I said, Mum, you press power. So I leave the room and I come back, and she's still looking at it, trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Do you think whatever your dad's got is catching?
That's not just a mum thing. My brother, he's only 25. I caught him once. The computer was there. He was trying to type some stuff up, and he said, I need to print it out. And it wasn't printing out. And I was going, oh, it'll work itself out. Just connect it. And I left. I come back 10 minutes later, and he had the monitor of the thing looking at the... He turned it round to face the printer going, but he has got paper!
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the story. The head of MI6 has had personal details published on Facebook. Of course, the Russians are years behind in their technology. They're still using Friends Reunited. The MI6 chief has been seen in a couple of embarrassing photos, one wearing a pair of Speedos and another attaching electrodes to the testicles of an Iranian dissident.